Hello everybody, this video is going to be introducing my first project. So I'm very excited for this because obviously first project, and I'm also going to be introducing some tools that I didn't mention. So the first is a planner, and the second is a pencil, and the third is this little rubber right here, which is very handy when you're doing sketches. So first project, what is this man going to build? So I've had some thoughts and I've decided on building a welding table, but not just any welding table. I'm going to attempt to build a portable welding table, which is going to mean there's going to be legs that fold. Now, I've still yet to lay a weld at this point. So before I actually construct the table, I am going to be using a piece of an offcut to get my practice in with the welding. So I don't know how this is going to go. This could go terribly. I might completely bollocks this up and need to purchase new materials. So where I'm at now with it, basically over the past few days, I've had it in mind. I've been looking at my environment, testing certain things out, getting an idea of what height would be good, doing a bit of research. I've done some sketches, which will probably be quite hard to show, but maybe I'll just give you a quick flip through because you might be able to get a bit of an idea. Everything's backwards. I think it will come out like that on the video as well. Maybe it won't. As you can see, I'm not the best at drawing. But yeah, I've been using this. It's been really, really handy to visualize and just begin to build this idea of what I want to create, really. So I'll attempt to explain it a little bit. The table that I want to build, I'm going to build it at a height of 38 inches, which is supposedly like the standard of welding tables is 36, but I'm going for a 38 because that was what feels right for me. I did a test with a measuring tape up to, like, standing up, you can't see me now, but up to where my elbow is. And you want to get the table sitting a bit below it, because if it's a lot higher, then you're going to be like working like this, and if it's a lot lower, then you're going to be bent over, hurting your back. So it's really important to build or have a welding table, or even anything generally if you're constructing something that is going to be good for your body. You know, if you're constantly, doing a lot of welding or building stuff and you're in awkward positions, eventually over time that's going to create discomfort for your body. So we don't want to do that. So I've had to have a look at a supplier for my metals. I've gone for a company called Metals4U. They supply metals across the UK. I'm pretty sure they're based in, I believe they have different ones across the UK, but the closest one to me is over in Wetherby. So I've decided on certain measurements. I decided on the build I want to go for, which has then informed me of what actual materials that I need to then purchase to be able to basically put everything together and create it as I want it. So the table design that I'm going for, as I say, the idea is that it's portable. It's not going to be too big. It's only going to be 1 meter long. It's going to be 600 millimeters in width, which is like 60 centimeters. And then, yeah, I'm going to have the legs and they're going to be on hinges so that I can fold them in, which will allow me to take it up and down, because I have a storage space downstairs, and then I want to be able to take that up and out of the house to be able to weld outside. You can weld indoors, but you need to have proper kit, really, because welding rods, or the kit I'm using, it's very toxic to your lungs and stuff. So if you're doing that in a confined space with no protective equipment, you can kill yourself quite quickly. And I intend to live fairly long, so we don't want to do that. The design I've gone for on the top of the table, I'm splitting it to half and half. So half of it, I'm going to have a sheet of metal, which is going to basically allow me to sort of do my welds and stuff on top of that space. And then on the other half, I'm going for it's going to be like a wide open space, but there's going to be a cross in the middle just to give it a bit of extra support. But then those wide open spaces is going to allow me to do my cuts without cutting into the table. So that's basically the idea so far. An issue I've had with it is that I'm working and the delivery days are all Monday to Friday. And I've got work tomorrow, I've got work next week. So I've had to ask my brother if I can get my metals dropped off at his, just because metals are quite expensive. I don't want to get back from work and it's all gone. So I'm getting it dropped there, and thankfully my dad is also sort of staying in that space at the moment, and he has a van. So the thing is though, one of the pieces of box section that I've ordered, which I'll be able to show you in the next video, potentially it'll be the next video when I get to it, that is very long. It's 6 meters, which I don't think will fit very well in the van. For sure it won't fit very well in the van. So I'm going to go up after work on Monday when it's been delivered, and I'm going to do my cuts there. So I'll be creating a video on that so you can get an idea of what it looks like to do a bit of cutting and measuring, but I'll just be doing that for the box section because all the other materials, they will be able to fit in the van easily. And so yeah, I've taken a bit of time to work out the different, like the lengths or the measures for each cut and for what parts. So I don't know if you I don't know if this video will flip what I'm going to show you around, so if it doesn't, I do apologize, but that's kind of an idea of what I'm going to need. And then for like okay, so I've got the legs, I've got the length, two lengths of the table, I've got 2 for the width of the table, I've got 4, oh no, sorry, I'm reading this wrong. Okay, actually that worked out. I was reading it a little bit wrong, but it still worked out anyway. I've got a length of the table that's going to go inside. So imagine you have the table. This is from one width to the other, and then right down the middle, I'm going to have a main beam. I've got 1 of them to cut because there's only 1, right? And then I'm going to have 4 whips that are going to go on the inside as well. So this might not be making loads of sense right now, but it makes sense to me. I hope it makes a bit of sense to you. And then this is just a bit more direction for that as well. So this is the one piece of box section is going to be 6 meters. The other I ordered is going to be 3,000. And then I basically split that up into what's going to be what. So it's important to plan like this because, you know, if I do my cuts and then I realize, oh shit, I've run out of material to be able to do this, then I'm going to basically need to get more metal. And each time you get the metal delivered under a certain value, it's like £20. So I don't want to have to order like a tiny little bit and spend £20 delivery. So it's just thinking like this because it's also economically like, yeah, it's just thinking economically really, like value for myself, but then for the environment as well, you know, thinking about the fumes and stuff it takes to get over here. So this is kind of the way that my thinking is happening. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with it at the moment. I've done some like different like designs and stuff. I don't know if you can see that too well. So like this is like a visualization of where the hinge is going to be, and then that connects to a leg which is going to have a lock on it. So obviously, like if you have a leg, so let's say this is the top of the table, here's the leg, it's on a hinge, it can go down. There's nothing to stop it. If the table moves that way, there's nothing to stop that leg just collapsing in. So my brother actually had a clever idea of putting like somehow locking it into place. And so I thought of getting bolt locks put on here, so on this side of the leg, and then there'll be like another little bit that's actually welded to the table, and so they'll both be welded in, and then I can essentially lock it into place. So if that happens and the table moves this way, the lock will prevent it from actually budging, and I'm going to have one of those on each leg. So yeah, this video is already like 8 minutes and 50 seconds long, so I'm going to cut it there. I hope that's giving you a bit of detail, and yeah, so first project, more videos to come on this obviously as I actually begin to construct it, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that you have a lovely day. Peace.